Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. This is Edka here. We are going to go into the tabletop RPG section of my life, and some or most or none of you have known that I have been playing a D&D campaign for approximately 3 years. We went from level 1 to level 20, and recently, as of last month, finally wrapped up in a very fantastic way. We have created our own existence, reality, world. We're still discovering that, and part of that discovery, we have decided to branch out and try out Dungeon Crawl Classics, DCC. Wonderful rule set, and this was our first session doing a funnel, which is basically taking a bunch of level 0 characters with no health, no stats, no abilities, and putting them into a terrible situation to see if they survive. And the interesting part of the first half of the funnel was the creation of the characters, and I thought that this would be a wonderful opportunity to show how our judge presented this information and how he created the characters. And if someone else is looking at DCC, this would be a good reference for them to take a look at. Hope you enjoy it. This was a fun funnel. And you should see the results of these characters coming up soon as well. So look forward to that. As always, take care, be safe.
And do make sure you always post your game to our events page.
I will... Did you post that in...
I'll message it to you directly.
Okay.
Could have a tagline like "Already beat Dungeons and Dragons, now conquering DCC."
I'll change anything. I don't...
Oh, after a second game, we get 10 glow-in-the-dark temporary tattoos.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, we're definitely putting in for this stuff. So, okay.
Then you need to wear them on face cam.
Okay, join. Oh, I have to, okay, so impromptu, I have to do planning to do this. So this first one's a freebie.
Oh.
You got to give them 24 to 48 hours or 72 hours to appear on the calendar.
We'll do better next time. I forgot about that, and I meant to mention that to you when I found that page originally.
First one's free.
House, are you back?
Yes.
Everybody here then?
Yep.
Then so.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
My
Yes,
presentation.
you can.
Everybody watching the presentation.
No.
Also turn on my camera for those of us that care. Jake, is does your poster there behind you, is that supposed to say cake?
Yeah. I realize now that I don't have my blur that I normally have for Teams
Well, it kind of at first glance I thought it said Coke, and I'm like, uh,
Yeah, it's a joke from when me and Cassidy first started dating. People
mm.
made our couple name, so they just
Oh,
Oh yeah, you
yeah.
can't turn on blur in Discord now if you wanted to.
It's okay. It doesn't look like there's anything too distracting.
we've already
If
seen
you
his
get Coke
secrets.
poster.
And that totally sounded like a very convincing lie that you were covering up your secondary dealings.
Yeah.
Mm.
Cassidy painted it. She's got the sea paw, and she drew the K with the Game of Thrones like main houses on the.
Oh, okay, I see that. Yeah.
Well, it's always fun to have another cam person on.
Hmm. All right, you guys ready to learn how to make some characters?
Yep.
We can try.
Cool. All right, DCC, Glory and Gold, won by Sorcery and Sward. So we're doing a level 0 funnel. This presentation is one that I made for a group that just started at work this week. So some of the numbers and stuff in here is a little different. So there were so many people in that group because 9 people were interested that they each created 2 characters, but you all are actually going to be creating 4 characters. So this first adventure will be your backstory. Your villager is going to see some shit that's going to make it impossible for them to go back to being a villager anymore. There will be lives will be forever changed and their brains forever traumatized by the happenings of this adventure. They will also probably die, so just be prepared for that and don't worry about it. If you lose all of your characters, you should have opportunities to roll new ones. But whichever ones survive, they get to be a level 1 adventure. So most of this stuff for you guys is going to be pretty repetitive, since again this was targeted at a group with varying levels of RPG experience. You all know how to roll dice. This is still a D20 system, so you're still rolling a D20, adding a modifier, and trying to beat a DC. But since this is a new system, a lot of other things will be, there'll be a lot of finicky rules that even I don't know yet, since so far all I've done is run 3 funnels. I haven't played the game that much more than you all have either. But the biggest thing to remember is that compared to D&D is that there's no search skill, and there's a lot of skills for which there are no skills. So if you are going to search a room, you need to tell me what you do to search the room, not just I search the room. Because you can't just rely on rolling a high enough investigation or perception check to search a room. An example of this from one of the other level 0 funnels is right at the beginning they find 2 corpses, and if you just like check for their belongings and you find a short sword. If you had said that I pull off their boots, then you also find the 5 copper that one of the guys had stashed in his boot. And there is no rolling high enough to just find that copper. You would actually have to say, I ripped their boots off like a fucking psychopath, and look for every little bit of advantage I can find. So that is a pretty big difference. That this system is designed to be a lot more narrative in terms of skill usage and stuff like that. Even as level 1 characters, only thieves have skills. Everyone else only has abilities, so it's not built around a big list of skills like 3.5 and 5th edition are, and Pathfinder for that matter. So your ability scores are mostly the same as what you're used to, with some small changes. So you have strength, you have agility instead of dex, but it's still basically the same thing. You have stamina instead of constitution, still basically the same thing. Personality replaces wisdom and charisma. Intelligence is exactly what you're used to, and then luck is the big new one. And so the difference with luck is that it affects a lot of stuff, including spell casting. So even if you roll a low intelligence, when you hit level 1, if you have a high luck character, you might make them a wizard anyways, because they'd have fewer spells, but they'd be more likely to go off than a wizard with, even or even bad luck. but you can also burn your luck. You can, if you have a roll that you really need to go off, you can actually say, all right, I'm going to spend 3 points of luck to get a +3 on this roll. But that luck burn is permanent, so that is not a choice to be taken lightly. So yeah. And then it's a hit point based system still. At level 0, you just straight up die if you hit 0 hit points. There's no death saving throws, nothing. You just are dead if you hit 0 hit points. The two important ways to die to remember from this slide are you will probably die because you looked in the wrong hole, and you will probably die because you didn't look in the right hole. So both things can be deadly, so don't let it inhibit you from exploring, thinking you're going to survive if you don't look in the hole, because sometimes that's the wrong choice too. So
does that go along with making sure you describe how you search things when we're picking
yes,
through
it
bodies?
Because if
No.
you
Yes,
put
it
your
does.
face in front of it, or you like reach in, there might be some different consequences.
Put my whole head in a hole.
Yeah. But dying is fun and hilarious, so don't worry about it. It'll be great. So yeah, we're gonna create some characters. So if you all in Foundry, the fourth tab in that panel on the right is the Actors tab. So you all should already see 4 characters. You might have to expand the Player Characters folder.
The third tab, I think. The one that looks like a
Oh,
pawn.
you all might not have one of mine, but yes, the one that looks like a pawn. I have chat, combat, scenes, actors, but you probably don't have the scenes tab that I do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll up Koei's characters, since hopefully he'll join when he can. But actually, I just thought of something. Where's our voice chat at?
Yeah, share it in the thing. That way we can click the buttons.
And this is Foundry?
This is Foundry, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So open up your first character sheet. It'll look different than what I have here. This is what the character sheets look like on their default level 0 character sheet. If you had paper character sheets in front of you, you would actually have one piece of paper that has 4 of these on it, because at level 0 you don't even get a full character sheet. You just get a quarter of a character sheet. So I just love that part of it. But so some of the stuff that I'm calling out on the slides will not be in the exact same spot, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Because it's just going to be arranged slightly differently. And again, you'll have 4 characters, not 2. So the first thing we're going to do is roll for ability scores. So you roll 3d6. You not 46 drop the lowest, just straight up 3d6 for each stat. They're on the chat window on the right side. You can click the d6 3 times and then click roll to roll 3d6 quickly and easily. And I'm rolling as if I was one of Hunger's characters, apparently. And just a quick tip, double click on the numbers to select the whole thing so you can write your whole number, because otherwise you have to do a bunch of annoying stuff. I don't want it to be... Stop. Unselect this tab.
So do we need to start writing these down?
You should be putting them on your character sheet, yeah.
Okay.
On your Hunger 1 character sheet.
Okay. So I have a 14, but I don't know, like, do I have to pick it immediately, or do I get to look at them all and then pick?
You don't even get to pick it. Your first roll is your strength.
Okay, that's all right.
You just roll straight down the columns.
And then you just manually input it?
Yep. And manually input it into both sections. The reason there's 2 is because if you end up being a wizard, you can burn other ability scores. But you should, like, you should put 14 into both sections there, Hunger. House
Is there anyone
privately
who
roll
not
dice.
see
What a
everyone's?
cheater. You can see them in the chat log too, what your results were.
I'm just trying to not, my stuff's flying by. So I was like, where the hell?
Yeah, so just keep an eye on the chat log as you're rolling.
Oh, this is a barbarian.
I got a 17 in personality. I'm gonna have to talk again. That's not good.
I got a 14 strength and a 4 personality. Except there's a 15 intelligence. I don't know what this guy's doing.
Kuwai's character is kind of middle of the road. Got a low agility and low stamina, though. That's unfortunate.
Did we do all 3 sheets?
We're just doing one at a time.
Gotcha.
And you should. Do you only see 3 sheets? Because you should see 4.
I see 4.
Okay.
Got a pretty interesting spread.
Yeah, Jake, you only have 1 plus 0, so.
Yeah, I do have 2 minus 1s.
Yes. And 2 plus 1s. You have 3 minus 1s.
Yes, 3 of them. I can't count.
-2.
One of those
Intelligence is supposed to be one of your high ones.
Supposed to be.
Ooh, House. House, make sure you put your numbers in both sections, but I'll help you out there.
Yeah, I'm just kind of going down the list.
That seems like an above average character.
Yeah, House's character is pretty good.
11, 13, 15, 13.
Also, as a nice feature of Foundry that we didn't have with Fantasy Grounds, I do have a module installed that allows you to pop out windows. So at the top of your character sheets, there's a little pop-out button, so you can actually take advantage of having multiple screens, which is very nice.
That is really nice.
Oh.
Okay, so the next step would be to actually doing your ability scores, but that's done for you automatically in Foundry. Something to note for those of us that are used to D&D is that these ranges, like the 0 range is twice as large as it is in D&D. It's not subtract 10 divide by 2. It's a little more complicated, but the stats are a little more, or the bonuses are a little harder to get to, basically. But we don't have to worry about this step because that's already in there as the small number next to your ability scores. So next is your saving throws. There's only 3 of them, so there's no charisma savings throw or strength saving throws. It's just the 3 classic ones: reflex, fortitude, and will. And they're just you put them in manually, and you just pull your agility modifier over into your reflex, your stamina modifier over into your fortitude, I don't think you can drag and drop. You actually have to. And again, double clicking can be your friend here, or triple clicking even if you need to select the whole thing to put those saving throws in. Yeah, if you click the text, you roll the save.
Oh, sorry about that.
Hey, I did it!
So it looks like Kyle and Hal still need to update their will saves.
Will's perception.
Will is from personality. Yeah, you're good now, House. There you go. All right, so now you get to find out your birth sign. There's not a separate section for this on Ural's character sheets like there is in the default one, so this will go into your notes tab. So because we actually have some luck modifiers, which isn't always the case, the important thing about this is that when there's a table you're gonna see, and you're gonna roll your d30, and it's gonna tell you what your birth sign is. And if you had a +2 for luck and you rolled a 13, you would need to write seventh sun with that +2, because if you burn luck in the future, that doesn't change your birth sign luck. This takes your initial luck score, and it's always whatever your initial luck score is. So in Jake's case, it will always be a -1, even if you somehow become more lucky in the future. But for
Gotcha.
Kuwei and House, then whatever this is, and even if you have a +0, you still want to write it down, because there will be other things that might care about your birth sign. So it's still something you want to note down with the +0. So let's roll some D30s.
26.
So Kuwei is a fortunate date. He gets +3 to. So I'm writing fortunate date, parentheses +1 for on Kuwei's character sheet. And then just as a reminder to him, I'm going to put dash on missile fire attack rolls.
So I did Bountiful
Critical
Harvest.
hit
Hit points
tables.
apply at each level.
It's very good you don't have negative luck with that one. And just add that directly into your notes section, and then I think you just I don't know if you have to press enter or tab or whatever,
Save.
but
There's
just
at the
make
top. There's a little
Oh yeah, that's what you need to click to save it. There you go. So even if you have your +0, make sure you put parentheses +0 next to Bountiful Harvest or Righteous Heart.
Oh, okay. So you probably. So this does absolutely nothing for me.
Yes, but that way, in case you get more or less lucky in the future, you don't
Okay.
accidentally penalize yourself for stuff that you shouldn't have.
Okay.
And then I can't see the thing until you click save, Jake, if you have entered it.
My bad. It is entered.
Nice. No problem. I'm just making sure that everybody's got it. Since this is the first one, I'm being very helicopter parenty on each of these. All right. So now we do race, occupation, weapon, and trade good. So this is going to be a big table. It's going to tell you your occupation, which will go right beneath your character name. Your weapon you will add to the melee weapons section. And you don't have to worry about the format as much, because that will kind of auto-calculate for you. You might have to add your strength modifier actually to it. We'll see. And notice, Jake, since you are unlucky and born under the sign of the bull, you will have to add another -1 to your to-hit rolls there. So it'll say, for you, if you got a club, your strength is +0, so you would actually put club, and then in the to-hit column, you'll have -1.
Gotcha.
For all melee weapons, it's going to be strength modifier. For ranged weapons, if anybody ends up with an occupation that gives you a ranged weapon, it's going to be your agility modifier. And then you're going to get a trade good as well, and that's just going to get added to your equipment section. Another really, really nice feature of Foundry is if you hit Control Space, you get a little text box that shows up in the middle. And then if you were to type club, so the Control Space is a global search of all the tables in the system.
Nice.
So you don't have to go and find the equipment table. You can just hit Control Space and then start typing shit to find things. So if you end up with a club, then you can just drag the club and drop it into your melee weapons section.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it's super, super nice. So this next slide we're not going to be using, because this is the default occupation table. There is a specific one for the Shutter Mountains. So this is the one that we're using. So roll a D100.
36.
So Kuwei's character is I got an 82, so his occupation is prospector. And he has a shovel as a staff, so I'm going to hit Control Space, type staff. And it actually has shovel as staff, which is nice. he has a +0 to hit, so I'm going to keep the +0 to hit. He has a +0 to strength, so the damage stays 1d4. If you have a bonus to your or minus to your strength, that also modifies your damage roll. Excuse me, but Jake, your birth sign only affects the attack rolls, not the damage.
Gotcha.
And then his prospector also has a sifting basket. So not all of the trade goods are in the system because a lot of them are more like RP kind of items. So I'm just going to add his sifting basket manually to his equipment section by clicking the plus add icon there. And the equipment's the second tab on your character sheet. All right. So House is a farmer who has a pitchfork and a hen.
No, it's gonna be me.
Hunger is a hunter. So since you have a short bow, Hunger,
Yes.
roll a d6, and that's how many arrows you have.
Oh, sweet. 2 arrows.
So you can add that to your ammunition section in your equipment sheet.
Where's the ammunition? Okay, so you add.
And then you also have a deer pelt that you'll just add. It might be in the tables, it might not. And
So
add that to your equipment.
So
And you're muted if you didn't know that, Hunger.
Yep, sorry. When I add the short bow, like I found it in the global. How do you how do you put it in your weapons?
You just drag it. You just drag it over. You might have to grab that little like suitcase looking symbol. It's already on your character sheet.
I filled that in, so that's why I was
okay. Yeah. You actually, I think you might have to drag the little suitcase thing and then drop it onto your ranged weapon section.
Arrows. Oh, suitcase. Oh, there we go. And I added there. All right, I'm gonna delete my short bow just to make sure it's 100% copacetic.
And I'm gonna edit your arrows because you have 2 of them, not 20 of them.
Oh.
And I did that by clicking the little edit icon, and then it pops up a little window to actually edit it.
Yep.
Is it bad form to put in a name already, or should they just be faceless?
No, this is very clearly stated in the rules. Even the dead deserve names.
Cool.
So everyone should have a name. Jake is a woodcutter with his hand axe. And what's your trade good, Jake?
Bundle of wood.
Nice. So make sure you add that to your equipment. And then Egbert is also a farmer. So something interesting about if we have multiple farmers is that the second and successive ones actually, you don't all have hens. So you will end up with a...
Oh.
Okay, so roll a d6. So you have a cow.
Ooh. That's gonna be a little bit hard to take to a dungeon.
Oh, and the 2 farmers, you also roll 1d8 to determine your farmer type, apparently. But I don't know if that's necessary in the...
Nope.
Yeah, so...
It is definitely not, because
I'm a 4.
that means you're corn.
So you're a corn farmer.
Perfect.
And House, you want to roll a d8 so we can see what kind of farmer you are?
All right.
4, and they're rival corn farmers.
Oh no.
House is a potato farmer.
I love
So
them
you can just-
potatoes.
Yeah,
All I
you
can
just
think is
edit
Fire
that, your
Force.
occupation there. Alright, so everyone has their occupation. All right, so no one rolled any of the demi-human races. So that means everyone is a human. So the only thing you need to do here is actually nothing, I think, because I think everyone's speed defaults to 30 feet. So easy slide here. If you were a dwarf, you would change your speed to 20, and then in your notes you would add that you can see you have infravision, see in the dark up to 60. Elves have 30 speed as well, but and infravision, but they're also sensitive to iron. They can't use iron armor or weapons, and then they also have heightened senses, which is a bonus to detect secret doors. And then halflings are speed 20, infravision to see in the dark up to 30. Halflings are also extremely good once you hit level 1, because they can actually burn they regenerate luck, unlike other races. Every time you take a long rest, you get a point of luck back. And then secondly, they can also burn their luck to help other people, not just their own rolls. So a pretty neat little support class. But yeah, for our purposes right now, it's just no work. So everyone knows common. We have no dwarves, elven. This will also go in your notes tab, I think. I don't think there's a languages. Yeah. Everyone, so everyone knows common, and then if you have additional points of intelligence modifier, which looks like 3 of you do, then you can learn other languages. You could just, and dwarf, elf, and halfling is included, and these are just some additional languages. I wonder if the chained coffin has specific languages that are considered useful. I didn't think to check that until just now. I don't think it does. So you can just use these lists. But yeah, so Lars, Mendel, and then Omar can pick a language.
Some sleep, okay? You can't sleep in our bed tonight.
No, I'll assume that you have picked yours, Jake, even though... Yeah, you have.
Yep.
All right.
So now we're going to roll an additional piece of equipment.
A big one.
It's going to be a D24.
You can do it too.
And that'll be on this table.
No, nice hands, please. No, you're trying to give me a big
I get a crowbar.
Oh my goodness, that was a big kiss. I love you.
Boy gets a piece of chalk.
All right.
Ooh, the search is even smart. I spelled crowbar way wrong and it figured it
I
out.
know you have big feelings.
Like I did CRW in it.
I love you.
I want to be in the bed.
You can't sleep in my bed.
Whoa.
Because Daddy has to sleep in it, and he's just so big. There's no space. Because Mommy's going to be in there too, so. Alright?
I want it tonight,
Hunger to roll your D24. I don't think I see it.
Snuggle tomorrow, okay?
I want it
Oh, he's busy.
I don't like where this is going. I've got a hen and a small hammer.
Alright, go ahead.
Yeah, what are you planning to do over there?
I believe that you have dinner.
Yeah, right?
Alright. I'll put.
I'm taking this cow with us on the dungeon, just so you know.
You can't talk to him.
Maybe the dungeon's just coming to us.
I love you. Sorry about that.
No problem.
A D24.
Yep. Nice, a torch. It's quite handy.
That might come in handy if it gets dark.
So shift and torch and run into equipment. Quantity is 1. All right, we're good.
And then now you're going to roll 5d12 to determine how much copper you start with. So I think I already taught you how to do multiple dice rolls in the same roll.
Mm.
Yeah, because we did 3d6s.
Five D12.
Yep.
D2. Does it scale up by tens?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, 10 copper is a silver, 10 silver is a gold, 10 gold is an electrum.
And then just change assumed to happen automatically, or will we have to make change? Assuming we don't
Oh.
die.
Oh, this is nice. Okay, so I can actually restrict the dice roll area so that it doesn't cover up the screen for everyone. I wonder how that affects everyone else. Oh, no. Okay, so that setting won't affect other players. So that's an individual setting. Anyways. What? Okay. Everyone has their copper pieces. Holy shit, Omar is rich.
They're gonna gank
All right,
me.
so
Not for long.
now back on your main tab, you'll calculate your AC. I don't think anyone got a birth sign that modifies this, so everyone's just going to be your AC plus or minus your agility modifier. So and no one has any armor either, so Kuwei's is 9 since he has a -1 to agility. That looks like everybody's good to go. So now you pick an alignment. So there is no good and evil axis. It's just the chaotic lawful axis. So lawful is civilization is good for the sake of civilization. Chaotic is civilization is good if I can get some value out of it for myself personally. And then neutral is neutral. So it's just kind of that look on things. It will matter a lot more if you end up as a like a cleric, but in general, just kind of go with whatever feels right for your character. I'm going to leave Kuwei's as neutral so you can make that choice later. Egbert, the lawful corn farmer.
Yep.
All right. So now you're going to roll for hit points. So you roll a d4, and then you add or subtract to your stamina modifier or your birth sign if you have a birth sign that affects it.
Uh-oh.
Kuwei has 3 hit points. And make sure you put your hit points in the little max section and also in the big heart.
So it replaces the 10.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this ain't good.
Fine.
Go.
Mendon,
Holy
the
shit,
beta
Lars.
farmer, is not doing good.
Lars has 5 HP.
Oh,
Basically a god. I mean,
Not fair.
Poor Egbert has 1 HP.
We'll be fine.
So the big heart is used to track your current HP, and then the max is to keep track of what your max is. So, and then name your character if you haven't already, and I'm gonna name Kuwei's first character as Gregory. No, I misspelled it. I'm gonna keep it. This is Gregory.
He thinks he's a
You don't need
fancy
to
barbarian.
put a level 0 in a box because you don't have that. Everyone else has already named the characters. And then that's it for your first characters. So now we're going to go back to
So
step
just
1.
close and it saves it.
Yep.
Then
So
close. On.
I think so I'm not going to be watching your all's character sheets this time because I think I'm going to roll all 3 of Kuwei's remaining characters together. You all can do them one at a time, or you can do them together. It's up to you.
Oh, okay. So I see what you're doing. Throw 3d6. 10. Sweet. Don't have to do anything.
Like, falling everywhere.
I'm gonna. So if you all do, you all have the gear symbol in the top right?
Yeah.
And when you're in there, do you see configure settings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in there's a dice so nice section. Yes.
Yeah.
So that this is where the rollable area setting was.
Oh, that's
if you
nice.
wanted to change that. And then I'm also going to change one of my. There's an option in there for display chat message immediately, which makes it show your roll immediately. So I think that'll be a little easier while we're rolling a ton of dice together, because you should immediately see your roll result while the 3D animation is playing.
So, where's that at?
In the gears at the top right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then configure settings, and
Yeah.
then dice so nice, and then there's it's like, for me, I don't know if I have more options or not than you.
Yeah,
It's,
you've got.
for me,
we
I have
don't
to scroll
that
down
one.
a little. Maybe that's a global one then. So it might just be already changed for everyone.
That is where we can change the color of our dice.
I think the color of your die is modified by your player character, which I think you right-click your name in the bottom left and use your configuration to do that. But I'm not positive. Did I say bottom right? I meant bottom left.
I'm sorry, where was that display immediately?
I think it's a setting that I set
Yeah.
globally for everyone.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay,
changed.
okay.
Oh, the Koei 2 is a lucky bastard. Got a 15 in luck.
I got a 17 in luck.
Nice.
Too bad his other stats are terrible. Or their stats.
I'm naming Koei 2 Gregathy.
So it saves each time we do one of these characters, right?
Yep.
So we can just, as we're going, move on to the next character, do stats on each character.
Yep. And with the pop-out, you could have all of them up on multiple monitors, too, if you wanted to keep them all up.
Oh, I didn't see I could open. Oh.
Oh, no. Koei's third character, whose name is going to be Groog, is he has a 4 in luck.
A max personality.
Right, whatever.
Oh, and his fourth character has a 5 in luck.
Uh-oh.
Jake has got fancy dice. Everybody done rolling stats for now? Oh, no. There's
I've got 3 more to roll real quick.
I got a Do the second number. Cool. Egbert we can close.
And this is
Then we can do this. Something like this. Yeah. Something like that. Cool.
There, everybody good?
yep.
Yep.
Cool. So ability modifiers are done for us. Saving throws, pull those over. Agility to reflex. I don't know if Kuei's characters are going to survive. Stamina to fortitude. And personality to will.
Oh, let me just.
Grug has straight plus zeros and then a -2 in luck. Everybody good with saving throws?
Yep.
I think I have one more to do.
Next up is Birth Augur.
0, 0. Okay.
A 2. The bull.
D130. So that's 20. And that's based, so bountiful harvest plus your luck plus 0. Okay, next up, save. Okay, so what is, so I got 15, right, which is righteous heart. And then you, again, luck, so so I put righteous heart plus 2.
Yep.
Save. I did it.
And with birdsong, is that additional languages? So number 29, number of languages.
Yep. You will know more or fewer languages modified by your luck score.
Is somebody mute?
I think you always know common. No matter what. Everybody got their birth augurs?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So now the races.
And this is D1. This is D100, right?
Yep. And if you roll a ranged weapon, then you have D6 ammunition for it.
Is there an issue? There's multiple elven sages.
Where are there multiple? I only see the one.
Benedict is also.
Oh, yeah. No, they're only farmers and herders have the duplicate
extra
thing there.
parchment and quill pen.
Oh, I have another farmer.
I am curious that the fact that being an orphan is an occupation.
Yeah. Yeah. One of Koei's characters is an orphan.
We gotta roll for another farmer thing.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah,
I
so
got
one of Koei's is also a farmer.
What is a wainwright? Like a
They make wagons, I think.
Okay.
Wagons.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but I wanted to not be.
They make wains, clearly.
Wains. Oh yeah.
Okay, so we've got a couple farmers. So Koei's farmer is a D8 to determine the type.
A D8.
So he is a wheat farmer.
I am a 7 farmer.
And your 7 farmer is a radish farmer.
Ooh.
farmer.
What number? You got a 2, so you're also a wheat farmer.
And then for the animal, we need 2 or whatever.
Do I have to roll for the halfling farmer?
Yes, I think
he
so.
farms halflings. No.
So, let's see. So, Koei's farmer has a goose.
Yeah. What do we roll on that?
D6.
I've got a 2.
So you have a goat, and house you have a mule.
Okay, so that one's got a mule, and then
Oh, you have 2 farmers, and then that one is a cow.
What's a 2 on the big occupation table?
Blacksmith.
Ooh, that sounds useful.
Ooh,
I
potter.
need that chart real fast.
Which chart? The occupation chart?
Yeah, that one that you just had, because
Yep.
I got a merchant, and that one's a little bit different.
Mm.
Oh, no wonder.
Oh, you start with 4 gold?
color.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay.
I get a pound of clay.
Everybody have their occupations?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it sounds like we actually got some non-humans this time. So if you're not a human, then make sure your speed is correct, and then in your notes tab, you'll add your extra abilities. And in the interest of making it a little easier on you all, let me put this in the chat.
Speed's 30. And that just goes in the notes, right?
Yep. Other than the speed, yep. And by chat, I meant Discord, not although I guess I could have put it in the...
That would move with dice.
True.
So is it safe to assume that the Elven Sage doesn't have an iron dagger but a stone dagger, or?
So I think that at level 0 you don't have to worry about it too much. Because it's like if you wear iron armor, then you lose 1 hit point per day. And then otherwise it just makes you uncomfortable.
Okay, just itches.
Yeah. If you make level 1, then your starting equipment for elves is actually like basic. So what'll happen, assuming you survive, you don't just level up to level 1. You actually like time will pass and you'll go and get training or whatever to actually become a level 1 character. Because now that your eyes have been opened to the wonders/horrors of the world, you will seek to better equip yourself and train yourself to survive. And elves specifically, part of that is kind of an ancestral right. Their starting equipment will actually be made of mithril instead of iron.
Oh, nice.
Because they don't have the reaction to mithril that they do to iron, which is why elves have mithril stuff so closely associated with them. But for level 0, I don't think you worry about it too much. So everybody knows common, and then based on your intelligence, you might know more, or your birth sign, since we got one of those. None of Corey's characters know any additional languages.
Well, you know.
And then if you're one of the demi-human races and you have at least an 8 intelligence, then you get your racial language for free.
So if we have 0 intelligence, we just get our base, correct?
You just have common. Yep.
Okay.
Well, you shouldn't have. You mean 0 intelligence for your modifier, right?
Modifier, yeah. not 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
My Orphan knows 3 languages.
Got that street smarts.
I also like that implies that the only occupation for orphans is if you're human. You can't be a halfling or a dwarf or an elf orphan.
They all take care of their young.
Gotcha, that's right. We're the only ones that abandon them to make an occupation out of it.
Hey, they got the ragdoll. They're not alone.
In the Shutter Mountains, the demi-humans are much more rare because there's way fewer results that get you a demi-human race on this table than on like the normal one has more. You could be a halfling gypsy or a halfling vagrant. There's your orphan.
There you go.
In the normal tables.
Can you go back to the languages? Sorry, I'll see in the other ones. What is a good language for a potter to know?
Dwarven.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There is a D5 if you're just rolling on the additional languages table. The quote-unquote table. The additional languages bulleted list. Or are you just getting ahead and doing your hit points?
I'm just doing hit points.
So random equipment, D24.
Okay, D24. For Mike. Oh. 17. Oh, a 10-foot pole. Flint and steel. Grappling hook. Does the grappling hook come with the rope, or is it just the hook part?
I believe it comes with the rope part, but I'm not sure.
Kind of seems on brand just to be the hook
Just to
part.
be the hook.
And what's our AC?
AC, unless you have burst signs or armor, is just 10 plus or minus your agility score.
All right, so
Or your agility modifier, not your agility score.
And HP is just a D4. Right?
Yep,
Stamina?
HP is just a D4. Everybody done with random equipment?
Yep.
yep,
Yep.
Starting copper.
5d12.
copper.
That was wrong. There. 27.
And this is where we get our starting funds from. Our friends that die.
You're probably not wrong.
I know he's not the richest because we have a merchant, but I did just roll a 49 for one of these characters starting copper.
Yeah, we're gonna go shank the merchant and
Also, in case it comes up later and we need to know, on any of these rolls, if you click the 5d12, you can actually see the individual dice results in a little expansion panel.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice.
Everybody got the copper?
cover.
Yep.
I think your merchant still rolls for this and just adds it to what you have otherwise. And then AC is 10 plus or minus your agility modifier and burst signs, and armor if you have any. Pick your alignment, leaving all of Koei's neutral. Roll for your hit points. D4 plus or minus your stamina, plus or minus any burst signs.
Lawful. So 3 plus stamina, right? I mean D4 plus.
Yeah, D4 plus or minus stamina. Bonus.
Or Jax, the halfling rice farmer.
When I ran Megan and my friend Anton through the first funnel just to make sure that we understood how it all worked, I think they only had one character that didn't have 1 HP. Across
That's amazing.
Eight characters or across 12 characters. Yeah.
I think Mr. Theodort is going to die.
Everybody got HP?
Yep.
And then name your character if you haven't already. All right. So, did everyone roll up their remaining 3 characters, or do I need to go back through the slides for anyone?
I think I've got all mine.
Yep.
Yep.
So then, the last thing that we'll do is you can spend your starting CP on weapons, armor, ammunition, and equipment. It is probably most of it is out of your price range. In general, DCC uses a true medieval economy. So that's why you all start with trade goods. Your trade goods are often more valuable than the copper that you have because it's much more focused on barter. If adventurers made the kind of money that they do in the Forgotten Realms, it would completely disrupt the realms and economies would break down very quickly. So they try to make the economy make a little bit more sense in DCC. So that's kind of why. If you don't have, I know one of Koei's characters has flint and steel, but these things are always helpful, or buy nothing because you'll probably die anyways. So, up to you. But here, the equipment table is.
Well, it was free.
20 arrows are 5 gold.
Yeah, unarmored is free.
Oh. I just
Yeah,
saw
so
free.
20 arrows are 5 gold. The cheapest armor is 5 gold. And then here's the general equipment table.
I'm gonna spend all my copper on candles.
Can you zoom in a little bit on that?
But you need a flint and steel to light it, man.
Nope, just candles. Just a lot of wax.
Can anybody afford some rope?
I like how my merchant is technically rolling in gold, and he also got a backpack as one of his things.
Oh,
He's baller.
He is.
And right as I was going in, Caveman is running out and I find the dead body. Kyle, can you explain why you killed him? Kyle, don't no. Come on.